morning and welcome to build episode number 14. You'll have to excuse my tardiness on this one, but I've spent a few days really with a bit of builder's block where things weren't quite going to plan. I attempted to do the overhead cupboards and they didn't really work out, so I'm gonna have to try that again. And then if you're from Victoria or Australia, you know that Melbourne has gone back into complete lockdown for another 6 weeks. And so I spent yesterday really stocking up on things to make sure that I wasn't left in a situation where I wasn't gonna have the supplies I needed to go on with this build. And these are what I'm really excited about. They kind of look like little army tracks, but they are heavy duty drawer slides. As everyone knows, even if you have a huge ass van like this one, your living space is still generally limited to, 60 or 80 square feet. However, I today and over probably the next couple of days am going to attempt a project that I'm hoping is going to extend my living space by another 1.5 meters out the back of the van. So I've kind of had this idea of a sliding out table / decking area from the start, and I've really modeled my design around it. These drawer slides themselves are Dunn Watson heavy duty ones. They're rated to 227 kilos. I'll link them in the description below. But essentially, they slide out and out and out. So I chatted to Chris about this last week, and this is essentially the design idea we came up with. So essentially I'm going to build the tabletop on top of some timber supports that are attached directly to the runners. And the reason I'm not attaching the tabletop directly to the runners is then you're going to see the runners on the side and they're going to stick up high of the tabletop. So if you're sitting or lying on top of the tabletop, you're going to have those runners pointing out. This will actually allow a wider table and make for a much nicer finish.
Careful who you cross, careful who you test. And you'll get my best, 'cause I don't know how to back down, how to back down. No, I don't know how to back down, how to back down.
I had to recess out each of these bits for all the brackets, because if you look how the drawer runner is going to sit, if I didn't recess those brackets, it wouldn't have sit flush against the ply here, whereas now it sits beautifully. With all the double screws in each and going through into the ply, into the cabinet, these things are solid as a rock. I realized that there was going to be 4.5 centimeters, a whole 4.5 centimeters spare at the end of this behind the drawer. And I was kind of thinking, what a waste of space. So instead, I've added some conduit there, and it is going to be a throughway for if I want to add any extra wire at all. Everyone knows I've got the strings that go up so I can add extra cables up through here. Now I have a throughway, so if I want to add any extra cables on this side of the van, I can just go through here and punch it through. And if any of you watch my electrical video, you know that I started with 100 meters of twin core cable. Well, I just finished it. 100 meters gone. Oh yeah. Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. I have to say, the weather is perfect. I'm really enjoying making this table. It's actually such a fun project to try and figure out. But I'll stop blocking the view. I'll get back to it. So I just realized I have screwed up a little bit. Because of the way I've done this, I can put the vertical pieces here and I can have it run a bit wider, but because it's going to hit this I can only go, within, I've got to leave at least a couple of mil on the sides. So it's only just going to cover this runner. Well, sorry, those lights are blaring, but they are warm. It only took about an hour, but I've given myself about an extra 4 mil on either side, which, some people argue whether that's worth it or not, but really for me, in the scheme of things, an hour extra on the van build is probably 1/1000th, if that, of the amount of hours I'm spending on it. So well worth it to have that little bit wider table. I hope I bloody cut it right now, otherwise it'll all have been for nothing. Good morning. It is looking like it is going to be an absolute cracker of a day today. I think it's forecast to be 14 degrees, which, isn't that sunbaking weather in the UK? I'm actually considering it. I'm probably the most pale I've been in a few years. So it'll be nice to get a bit of vitamin D. Last night I cut the top for the drawer. I just still need to do the actual tabletop, which is the more important cut. I'm going to do that now. And then it'll just be a case of preparing it with some wood protectant, fitting it in, and that drawer will be done. I'm also considering doing all the flooring for the van to really get it looking like a real home. So I've moved the workspace out into the sun because of the nice weather. And this is the top I was talking about. I actually cut it perfectly first time, which is very rare for me and shows that getting the right tools can be worthwhile. I've also practiced putting a few objects in here just to see what storage I might be able to sneak in underneath the table. And the end result of my trials being it can take long, narrow items, but it cannot handle girth. So this is a Tasmanian oak laminated hardwood panel. And I love nice hardwood. I have to say, this plunge saw has been an absolute game changer. You probably saw it in the video with Chris last week. He had one, and for cutting straight cuts, I think they're $180 from Bunnings. Well worth the investment. Now this is more like it. I love the sun so damn much and very happy it is back out. I've put on the first coat of protectant, and it is a natural oil that Chris actually recommended, and this is coming up a treat. So apparently I have to wait 12 hours for this to dry before I can put on the next coat, so I think I'm going to start on the flooring. This is what I used. Second coat is on of the protectant. One more coat to go, which I'm going to put on this afternoon. In the meantime, I've started laying out the flooring and I'm super excited for how it's looking. I spent about 2 hours choosing the flooring at the shop and I think it's going to be really nice. It's an engineered hardwood with a ply bottom, and it's proper hardwood flooring that you would use in a house or a workspace. I've never laid it before. Fingers crossed it works out. Good afternoon. It is starting to cool off, and it's frustrating because I'm at the point that I want to start putting the flooring in. I've done a lot of the cuts, I've got it ready, the table's in, and I'm absolutely loving how that is looking. But apparently the glue to lay the flooring down only likes a certain temperature range. It's a bit fussy for when you put it down. I'm going to shut up all the boards in the van overnight and have the heater on low all night just to keep a good temperature in there. And then in the morning, I'm going to keep running that heater whilst I lay out the boards, and hopefully that will help me get a really solid base. Yeah, hopefully these floors are going to last a very long time. See you in the morning. Morning. Okay, here goes. I have never done any form of flooring like this. I've never even used one of these sausage guns before. Fingers crossed. I'm about to secure this first piece down, and because it guides every other piece, I'm actually going to nail it down with this nail gun, and it's going to be covered by trim, so I've left a gap for expansion there too. So those stairs were an absolute nightmare to get right, but holy moly, I am very happy with the end result. This is bloody sticky business. Do not do this if you want to save the jumper you're in, because mine is trashed, unfortunately. just out here enjoying the deck before the storm hits, which it looks like it's about to very soon. It's going to get wild, so I'll come in from the wind. Thank you for indulging me with that. And my hands do not want to get clean from that glue. I look like Justin Trudeau going to the Halloween party, but it is sticky stuff. And a very quick lesson I learned from all this is wear your shittiest clothes when you do that job, because they're going to be destroyed. I'm pretty much going to throw out my jumper and my pants. I have to say that despite this taking me so long to get out, and I am sorry about that, I really had fun with both these projects. They really challenged me. And with this van, I wanted to throw in some things that are a little bit different, and things that, you know, while I'm sitting back in the van living in here, I can just go, you know, I built that. You know, that's kind of crazy. And it may sound weird if you've never been in a van before, which I know some of you probably haven't, but the flooring underneath my feet legitimately feels like I'm walking on flooring in a house. There's no creak, there's no give. It is hardwood flooring, just like in a house, and it is so nice. That is why the shoes off policy has extended from the roof to the floor. The flooring I got from Timberland PL, I'll link it below. It was $380, and to give you an idea, last time I did my flooring in the last van, I spent about $180. So more expensive in that regards, but the additional cost comes from the flooring glue and the tools like the sausage gun. That all added up to almost $200. So it does add up a bit more. I have to say, with the deck and the floor, my van is getting a little fancy. I mean, it's not two fridges fancy, but she fancy all right. As for the deck, I could not be happier with how it turned out. I'm really going to enjoy being out there, and I think Occy especially is going to enjoy sunbaking on there. Speaking of Occy, I got some really good news regarding him coming home. Still no flights yet, but one big hurdle that I was a little bit worried about is now past, so very happy about that. I hope the next video won't be so far away. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and if you are impressed by the build. And I will see you next week. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I will see you next video. Bye, guys.